The village of Eldridge had always been shrouded in an air of mystery, but as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the cobblestone streets, an unsettling presence seemed to awaken. Whispers of ancient curses and vengeful spirits were woven into the fabric of the town's history, but few took the legends seriously until the night the shadows began to move. It started with a flicker, a dance of darkness in the corner of Ethan's eye as he walked home from the local tavern. The evening had been unremarkable, filled with idle chatter and laughter, but now an eerie silence had settled over the village. Ethan quickened his pace, his heart pounding in his chest as the shadows seemed to stretch and writhe, taking on forms that defied reason. "Just tired," he muttered to himself, but the uneasy feeling gnawed at him. As he reached his front door, a chill ran down his spine. The key shook in his trembling hand, and he fumbled to unlock the door. Finally, he burst inside, slamming the door shut behind him. Breathing heavily, Ethan leaned against the door, trying to shake the unsettling images from his mind. He turned on every light in the house, hoping to banish the creeping dread that clung to him. But as the hours passed and the village outside grew quieter, the shadows within his home seemed to grow bolder. A knock at the door jolted him from his thoughts. He approached cautiously, peering through the peephole. No one was there. The knock came again, louder this time, echoing through the empty house. Ethan's pulse raced as he opened the door, half expecting to see a trickster from the tavern playing a cruel joke. Instead, he was met with an empty porch, the night swallowing the light from his home. He stepped outside, scanning the empty streets. The shadows pooled around the lampposts, swirling in an unnatural dance. As he turned to go back inside, a whisper carried on the wind, chilling him to the bone. "Leave while you still can." Ethan's eyes widened, and he backed into the house, slamming the door shut once more. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched, that the shadows had a mind of their own. He retreated to his bedroom, locking the door and drawing the curtains tight. But even in the safety of his bed, the darkness seemed to creep closer, enveloping him in a suffocating embrace. That's just the beginning. The story will build up suspense with each passing chapter, introducing the curse that haunts Eldridge and the terrifying events that unfold as Ethan and the villagers confront the shadows. The tale will culminate in a climax that plunges the characters and the reader into darkness. The next morning, Ethan awoke with a start. The shadows had retreated with the dawn, leaving behind a sense of unease. He decided to confide in his friends, hoping they could shed light on the strange occurrences. At the tavern, Ethan found his closest friends, Clara and James, nursing their morning coffee. He recounted the events of the previous night, his voice trembling with fear. Clara and James listened intently, exchanging worried glances. "It's the curse," Clara said, her voice barely above a whisper. "My grandmother used to tell stories about it. The shadows come for those who disturb the resting place of the cursed." Ethan's heart sank. He had always dismissed the old tales as superstition, but now he couldn't ignore the evidence before him. "Do you remember the old mansion on the hill?" James asked. "They say that's where the curse originated. Maybe if we go there, we can find a way to stop it." Despite their fear, the three friends decided to investigate the mansion. As they approached the decaying structure, a sense of foreboding washed over them. The once grand estate was now a crumbling ruin, shrouded in darkness even in the light of day. They entered cautiously, the floorboards creaking beneath their feet. The air was thick with dust and the scent of decay. As they explored the mansion, they found old journals and letters that hinted at the origins of the curse. A tale of betrayal and dark magic unfolded before them, revealing the tragic fate of the mansion's former inhabitants. In the deepest part of the mansion, they discovered a hidden chamber. Inside, an ancient altar stood, covered in strange symbols and artifacts. As they approached, the shadows began to stir, taking on grotesque forms that seemed to reach out for them. "We need to destroy this altar," Ethan said, his voice filled with determination. "It's the source of the curse." With trembling hands, they began to dismantle the altar, breaking the artifacts and scattering the symbols. The shadows writhed in agony, their forms dissipating as the altar was destroyed. For a moment it seemed as though they had succeeded, but as the last piece of the altar was shattered, a chilling laughter echoed through the chamber. The shadows coalesced into a single monstrous entity that loomed over them, its eyes burning with malevolent intent. "You cannot escape the curse," the entity hissed. "It is bound to this place, and now, so are you." The friends fought desperately to escape the chamber, but the shadows closed in around them. One by one, they were consumed by the darkness, their screams echoing through the mansion. Ethan was the last to fall, his vision fading as the shadows enveloped him. The last thing he heard was the entity's laughter, a sound that would haunt him for eternity. The village of Eldridge remained silent, the stories of the cursed shadows fading into legend once more. That those who ventured near the old mansion at night would sometimes hear faint whispers on the wind and see the flicker of shadows that seemed to move with a life of their own. For the curse had not been broken, it had merely claimed new victims, waiting for the next soul to disturb its restless slumber. As Ethan's consciousness slipped into darkness, he found himself in a surreal landscape where shadows twisted and turned like living entities. The air was heavy with an eerie stillness, broken only by the distant whispers of tormented souls. He realized he was trapped in a liminal space, a realm between life and death, ruled by the cursed shadows. Desperate to escape, Ethan wandered through the ever-shifting labyrinth, guided by faint echoes of Clara and James's voices. He encountered other lost souls along the way, each with their own tragic tales of how they had fallen victim to the curse. Among them was Amelia, a young woman who had been searching for her missing brother. She joined Ethan, hoping to find a way out together. As they ventured deeper into the shadow realm, they discovered that the entity ruling over the shadows was once a powerful sorcerer named Thaddeus. He had been betrayed by those he trusted, and in his final moments, he cast a curse that bound his spirit to the shadows, condemning anyone who disturbed his resting place to eternal torment. Ethan and Amelia realized that to break the curse, they needed to confront Thaddeus and offer him redemption. They journeyed to the heart of the shadow realm, where the sorcerer's spectral form awaited them. Thaddeus, consumed by bitterness and rage, unleashed a torrent of dark magic upon them. Drawn upon their inner strength and the bonds they had formed with the other lost souls, Ethan and Amelia fought back. They pleaded with Thaddeus, urging him to let go of his anger and find peace. For a moment the sorcerer hesitated, his ghostly visage flickering with uncertainty. But just as it seemed they might succeed, the ground beneath them trembled, and the shadow realm began to collapse. Thaddeus's rage reignited, and he unleashed his full fury upon them. In a desperate final effort, Ethan and Amelia reached out to the other lost souls, channeling their collective strength to create a barrier of light. The light pierced through the darkness, banishing the shadows and enveloping Thaddeus in its embrace. The sorcerer's form dissolved, and with it, the curse began to unravel. The shadow realm crumbled around them, and Ethan and Amelia found themselves back in the mansion, the oppressive darkness lifting at last. As dawn broke over Eldridge, the villagers awoke to find the old mansion standing silent and still. The whispers of curses and vengeful spirits faded into the past, replaced by a renewed sense of hope. Ethan, Amelia, and the other souls who had been trapped in the shadow realm were finally free, their memories of the ordeal a testament to the power of redemption and the strength of the human spirit.